raise the flag. Okay. Pull it over a little bit more for you, honey. Okay. We're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we will have the clerk call our roll.
Councilmember Archibald? Here. Councilmember Haremza?
Here.
Councilmember Lamb?
Here.
Councilmember Mosherak?
Here.
Councilmember Payton?
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Here.
Mayor Ashford?
Present. Council members, you have before you minutes of our regular meeting of March the 9th. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosherak?
Yes.
Councilmember Payton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Item D.
To hear comments on the proposed Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant application in an amount of up to $250,000 to assist with development and improvement at Lincoln Park. Following the hearing, council will consider a resolution to authorize the submission of the grant application, and if grant funds are awarded, authorize the acceptance of the offer and provide for the required local funding match.
Public hearing 26-001 is open. Is there anyone wishing to address the city council on that public hearing? Welcome.
Howdy, Tyler Moldovan, Lightship neighborhood. Not initially why I came here tonight, but I think that Lincoln Park is a beautiful treasure in this community. And if anyone has seen like the historic plan of when that was an industrial town down there on the south side, I know Andrew Kircher has a talk coming up down at the Harvey Reinvestment Center, but I think if you plan for a park that is for all ages, not just a bunch of specialized zones from the park just for kids, these are for adults, these are for working out. I think that planning parks for all ages is beneficial to the whole community, especially that is kind of just like a big living room out in front of all those homes down there in Lincoln Park. So I really appreciate you guys taking that into consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address public hearing number 26001? Thank you.
Crystal Mankey, I'm a resident of Port Huron. Okay, I got married at Lincoln Park. You know, that's a beautiful place. I used to snowblow the lady that does the greenery there, does the flowers. Kind-hearted lady does it, just volunteers. I don't think that putting $250,000 towards the development is appropriate for that, seeing as how she tends to the flowers very, very nicely. So if you guys could find out her name and possibly contribute to her, because she's put towards Lincoln Park for many, many years. She lives right over there on Military. And she's been the one actually tending to that park, the greenery, the flowers. As for the park aspect of it, I believe that it's been changed a lot. I don't feel that putting something in for $250,000 to change the whole structure of the park, like he said, it is historical. So I don't think changing the structure of the park is appropriate because it is a major historical event here in Port Huron. It's Lincoln Park. So I don't think that we should be putting $250,000 towards a park to grow when we have other focuses that need to be taken care of here in the city's jurisdiction. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to address the city council?
Brian Farquhar, 19th Avenue. I remember I had a babysitter growing up that lived right there on North Avenue or North Boulevard. We used to go across the street, play at the park all the time. Had a great basketball court back then. I haven't been by it recently to see how, I know it's been kind of on the back burner as far as improvements, and it's definitely due for some. My suggestion would be, obviously the neighborhood's not here tonight, but send somebody out and get with the neighborhood and find out what types of infrastructure and what types of improvements they would like to see. Whether they would like to see a playground, whether they want to see basketball courts, whether they want to see a shuffleboard or pickleball courts, whatever they want. And let's see what's going to be utilized for that area the most. And then let's look towards the future and see, let's buy stuff that's going to last, a good quality, long time, and the rest of it, and use the funds well, because obviously they're grant funds, and I know we're talking about the first one here, but at the end of the day, there's $400,000 up for grabs. So that's a big deal, 250 and 150 is, can definitely help out. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to address the council? Thank you.
My name's Aaron Kreiner. I'd have to piggyback off that. We could leverage a lot of money with the grant money, pair it up with, and get a lot of things done with that. Somebody on the beautification commission, that's one of the flower beds in front of the gazebo.
Mm-hmm.
I've been assigned to do that, so it's.
Oh, good.
And I know they made a comment about the flowers. I know some of those beds are being tore out. And they're being, in the front there. So, as far as I know, just in the gazebo areas, what's going to stay. But there's a lot of those right in front of the gazebo. There's a bunch of raised beds and a big diameter flower bed. I believe that's getting tore out. But yeah, I support doing anything. If we can leverage money, that's $400,000 on top of whatever else. But I do agree, it should be what the residents in that area are wanting to put in there, get their inputs before we just go putting anything in there. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to share comments on public hearing number 26001? Okay, hearing and seeing none, public hearing close. Number one. Do we take the vote right now? Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald.
Support.
Supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just want to point out, I think we're really glad to hear from people during these public hearings. I would encourage people, before you speak at a public hearing, read the document first. This is to create ADA parking spaces at the scenic turnout. It's to create a ADA pathway to the park for people with disabilities access to park, and it's for renovations to the existing pickleball and basketball courts. We are not changing the park in any way. We are not redesigning the entire park. It's important to denote as well that these improvements were derived by a community-led neighborhood improvement authority who looked at that park and thought, how can we make this park more accessible and better use for the residents who live in that neighborhood. So this was driven by neighborhood feedback into the grant application and to the entire concept of it. But again, we are just improving what's already there. We are not redesigning the park or changing the park in any way.
Yeah. And just under discussion, we understand that, we get a lot of information that you don't get, and that's why we have a discussion period time so we can help inform you what you didn't. Even in the interest that you did make a statement, it's okay. You could talk about it, but we're here to straighten it out and make it more clear. And so I'd like to thank the city manager for making that clear for you as to what we are doing. So we're not trying to tear up and reinvent anything. And as a matter of fact, we have, I've certainly been a part of meetings that they have talked extensively about how that area in particularly, should be improved. So there is conversation going on. So it's not like we're going in and said, do it my way. You know, we're not trying to be, what's his name? Frank Sinatra, my way. No, it's their way. We pay attention to what you're saying and consider it and see if it works, and if it doesn't, we're honest enough to say, well, that can't happen. But the main point is that you say what you need to say, and we're up here to make sure that we straighten it out and give you the right understanding of what we're talking about before we vote on it. Okay, any more conversation? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Number 2.
To hear comments on the proposed Michigan Department of Natural Resources Recreation Passport Grant application in an amount of up to $150,000 to assist with the development and improvements at Lincoln Park. Following the hearing, council will consider a resolution to authorize the submission of the grant application, and if grant funds are awarded, authorize the acceptance of the offer and provide for the required local funding match.
Thank you. Public hearing 26002 is open. Do we have anybody in the audience wishing to address the Port Huron City Council on this public hearing?
So we have a second.
Yes, ma'am, on public hearing 26.
$150,000, and then we have $250,000 going towards one park. We have, like you said, $400,000. We're already more than halfway through it. Where else is the funding gonna go? That's my question.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address this public hearing? And we will answer your question after the meeting. Okay, roll call. Motion first.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
No.
Funding will come from both the Neighborhood Improvement Authority tax capture, that is a tax increment financing district. They collect funds to be used for capital improvements for this specific reason. The entire existence of the NIA is to fund these types of capital improvement projects within South Park.
Okay. And with that TIFA, and you capture it, it only can be spent in that area, it can't be taken out.
You are
Is
correct. Correct.
Okay. So that's your answer to the extra
And
money?
I would add to that, they are following the development plan that we had dozens and dozens and dozens of neighborhood meetings and public hearings before we adopted that neighborhood improvement plan. So this is following the plan that was denoted through the community feedback.
Yep, I was there. Yeah. Okay, so, roll call.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Item E. Okay, this is a public comment, and as you know, this is the city residents or city businesses owners who signed up by calling, the clerk will call your names, and speakers may address the city council on any agenda item or any matter under the city's jurisdiction. Speakers are allowed 1 4-minute opportunity to make their comments. Clerk.
Aaron?
Hi, Aaron Kreiner. I'm speaking to Resolution 2641. Jim will be speaking in this early, a little bit. I'm just here thanks for the opportunity to be on the work group for the Forestry Management Plan, and I support the resolution.
Thank you.
Brian?
So, First off, I want Brian Farquhar, 19th Avenue. Tonight we're have another deal for the Black River Canal coming up, and it's always good to have Plan B. It's good to have Plan C, D, E, F, and G all the way through at the end of the day. The other thing I want to speak about is the last meeting we had. You know, it went lengthy and all the rest of it, and we were kind of showing why the non-residents at the end might not be the best deal, and it might be better just to pull everybody back together. You know, I just kind of think it's one of those eat crow moments when two of the people that vote to change it have to vote to move it, and then realistically at the end of the deal, the only thing it does is it lets their voices be heard before you hear the things. It doesn't stop any time. Like they're gonna say what they're gonna say. It doesn't shorten the meeting. It doesn't do anything like that. So to pull it all back together would be, you know, a good idea. The sign-up sheet can stay. The rest of the rules so far have been okay. It seems to stay, but that's one of the things that was really kind of one of those deals where it was like, well, it just isn't gonna work. Like it doesn't work if we're gonna continue to whatnot. And then as much as I liked the fact that Mr. Watkins was given the chance to speak. I wish a few meetings earlier, the city resident that didn't sign up, somebody would have spoken up and given him the same sentiment and voted and given him, you know, an opportunity to speak as well. Because ignorance doesn't, you know, kind of support it. And just because Mr. Watkins didn't know the rules and didn't sign the sheet, he still got to speak because we voted. But then an actual resident who wanted to speak on something, you know, got turned away. And so that's why it doesn't work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vivian?
Hello, City Council. I am Vivian Orsborn, and I am from Point Huron Schools and also Crowell Elementary, and I would like to address a problem that I think we've had for quite a while. It is runoff pollution. So some people don't pick up after the dogs, and that can also affect the water because when it rains, it washes into our rivers, which empties into our St. Clair rivers, and then empties into our lakes. And also, when people overuse like driveway salt or also the construction sites, all that dirt on the ground, again, when it rains, it goes into our rivers. So I would like it if we could draw attention to this problem and maybe we could come up with solutions to fix this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Craig?
Good evening. Craig Schlenker, Stone resident. I don't know if we had any conversations about what we learned this winter when it comes to the code blues and what having a policy written down, something for our employees to follow a little bit more solidly, along with the fact there was no drip advisories either. I know that the city had a number of what was it, water, what you guys had blow up? You had like 9 of them blow up. The water meters broke. They're trying to fix those, etc. But we had no drip advisories whatsoever, and I know that is a bit of an issue. I've seen in other places that I've lived where, you know, we have a lot of homes in this area. I believe they have no basements. You know, they have crawl spaces, etc. And they're exposed to getting frozen pipes. And if we allow for these a little bit of help there, where maybe they don't get charged the full amount for those drips that they do to save from their pipes breaking, it might be a good idea to help people who don't have a house with a basement. Beyond that, full support for the canal. I really do hope that we were able to figure that out. The status of it is what concerns me, that we're not getting the support that we're supposed to get because it's not navigable is the way I understand it. Not that I got any answers or any help from that earlier, but you know, we don't expect that anymore. Same suggestion remarks reading before answering. I would appreciate some answers as to what is being considered or has been considered historically when it comes to that safety device for our boaters. recreational boaters aren't typically the safest people. They're out there getting drunk, they're out there doing the things, and that's what we kind of, that's what kind of Michigan Waterways is. We go out there and we have a great time. That's what we want people to do here, within reason, of course. If we're not doing that, we're not giving them the best possible chance for that pure Michigan. I also thought that we had a committee put together to answer questions. I didn't see that happen when I asked for questions earlier, so I'd like to see that work where we actually have the team answering instead of the city manager. The team Port Huron, are we going to be having events coming up where they're going to say, yes, these groups are doing it, or is it just those groups, and we're never going to see anything more when they bring things forward that they may want support from or more bodies to help with? So I'd like to see something, more support for that maybe, or even something to pop up from it. I know it's been a month since it's come out, and I know we have people who need things to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Crystal?
I know I mentioned many, many times the corruption here within the city, the police officers, the judges, the whole courthouse, the whole justice system here is just kind of a failure to the people. And I do First Amendment audits, as we all know. I get out here and I audit these police officers because James Freed obviously can't watch them close enough. There's no punishments for these officers. And my thing is, who is policing these police? Because they take an oath, and I have 2 officers' oaths of office that they are to uphold and protect the Constitution and abide by all state laws, city ordinances, and I have officers leaving the city on freeway to evade a First Amendment audit. And then they run back home when they don't like an audit because they can just sit around on us tax-paying dollars. You guys want us to pay tax-paying dollars? For what? The police are here to protect and serve the people. They are employed by us people to protect and uphold the Constitution of the United States, which they are not doing. Suit has been filed, so we'll see where that goes. We'll have our day in court, as you will too. You said you're not worried, James Freed. So we'll see. But the taxpayers are really the ones paying, because when it comes to city lawsuits involving government agencies, it comes out of the people's money. The city pays it. Slap on the wrist, Tristan Shouty. Why? Why should it come out of our money? Why should we have to pay for their mess ups? So I'm paying myself. Why am I paying city taxes then? I pay the police. It's on a tax report. City police. But when you guys did the audit of our city, you know, they should have elaborated on where that money to law enforcement is really going. Because is it going to civil action suits like Charles Reed? How much did he really get? We don't know. Why? Because he signed an NDA disclosure because he took a settlement. But good thing we have Kevin Linke out here to expose the corruption, just like me. And I won't stop until there is justice. We need new officers. Really, they should be required to be residents of our city to enforce the policies of our streets because they don't follow them themselves. So who do we trust? Who do we go to when we need help? When we feel the government is against us? You know, do we go to seek outside help, outside sources? Because James Freed isn't doing his job. He has power in his hands, but he fails to enforce it. And this is the manager that Port Huron has just as crooked as those cops on the street. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Jeff?
Hello, Jeff Gushman, Valentine Street. I was also on the work group with Aaron regarding the Forestry Management Plan, so I just wanted to thank you for having me on that. I thought we had a really great group of people that were brought together. It was great to be involved in something with the city that I'm passionate about, so just wanted to say I supported that, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Tyler?
Tyler Moldovan, Lightship neighborhood. I just want to give a shout out to that student who's talking about runoff water. I know I personally have switched to using coarse sand for ice traction in my sidewalk and driveway. It's better for dogs walking through your neighborhood and of course for the runoff water. But I also know that SEMCOG is holding a green infrastructure seminar. I think it's this week, but they hold them pretty regularly. And that helps filter out all of our runoff water using, they call gray infrastructure or green infrastructure. As we're going through with all these infrastructure projects, it'd be really great if we could send some of our engineering staff to that, to those seminars so that they're more familiar with that. Because I know that there's also grants out there to get that green infrastructure so it doesn't overtake all of our infrastructure for runoff. I'm also grateful for the ability to serve our community with the Forestry Management Work Group, something I've been passionate about for a long time, as many of you know, the trees in our city. But also as someone who's lived in a westerly facing house the entire time I've lived in the city of Port Huron. It gets hot out there, especially if you don't have any shade. And I know Jim is gonna go a lot more into depth with this, but I wanna let you know that our work group did extensive due diligence with writing the request, as well as calling references for all the people who sent in the proposals, weighing the pros and cons, and I hope you approve Resolution 26041. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Then Austin will be our final speaker. Did I pronounce it wrong?
Oh, is that Ashton?
Ashton, yeah, sorry.
Oh, my bad. I honestly thought I just had to sign in to come and watch this.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I got nothing to say today, but.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's it for that section.
Okay. We're at item F.
The city manager's administrative report for March 2026.
Oh, okay.
Madam Mayor and Council, you have my written report before you. I'd just like to thank Ms. Vivian for her excellent presentation on stormwater runoff pollution in the St. Clair River. It is something that we're extremely mindful of. We are working with SEMCOG on part of the Green Infrastructure Task Force. We actually have renderings of gray water cleaning throughout the city for parks and swales that we are already incorporating into our design tactics to address just that, but I was just wanted to address that. That was very impressive, and there's probably a seat up here for you one day, Vivian. I just also want to mention, I've been city manager now for 12 years. We have paid $0 of taxpayer money on any settlement with any frivolous lawsuit. Our police department, it's a very difficult job being a police officer. It's a difficult job doing any public position. I couldn't imagine working tireless hours, lots of overtime because we're short-staffed, only to have your good name in your department falsely slandered in a public meeting. Our police department is governed by some of the most sophisticated professionals in the industry. We are one of the few agencies in the state of Michigan that are CLIA certified. Not only are we CLIA certified, we are also MCOL certified. It is the highest standard of law enforcement in the entire country. I stand up here today as city manager, and I can tell you I'm 100% confident in every individual in our police department, because I know the standards that they have and the accountability that they have, and if I wasn't, they'd be fired. And we've fired officers in the past. But our police department is filled with honorable men and women who do an amazing job, even when they're slandered and attacked here. We look forward to your day in court so we can smack down your frivolous lawsuit like we have every other single one. But we will defend the men and women who wear the badge because they are honorable and they do a great job for us, even in the light of slanderous attacks, which always fall short in court. They have never prevailed, ever since I've been city manager. That's it.
We got a little bit ahead of ourselves, but under city management report, did any of the council members have any discussion as far as the report that you received from the city manager? Any questions or anything? Okay. All right, we may proceed with the consent agenda. Okay, is there a motion? We are now at the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support. Moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Your following consent agenda from the city manager, we have one, accepting the proposal from excuse me, my bad, boards and commission. Okay, receive and filed a copy of the completed 2026 assessment roll. And number 4, under resolution, approving the First Amendment to the communication site lease agreement with PTI US Towers 2 LLC to lease space at the Riverside Boat Launch for a cellular telephone antenna. Resolution number 5, approving the option and lease agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS LLC to lease space located at 2215 Stone Street for the purpose of installing, operating, and maintaining a communication facility. Resolution number 6, authorizing the Director of Public Works to commit and purchase salt through the State of Michigan My Deal Extended Purchasing Program for 2026 and 2027 season. Resolution number 7, approving the decertification of 5 streets in accordance with Act 51 of 1951. Resolution number 8, authorizing the submission of a special liquor license application to the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Liquor Control Commission for the City of Port Huron's Rockin' the Lake event on Thursday evening during the month of August at Lakeside Beach and Park, and recommending the license be issued. Resolution number 9, authorizing the submission of a special liquor license application to the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Liquor Control Commission for the City of Port Huron's Blue Water Festival event on July the 16th and 17th, 2026 in downtown Port Huron, and recommending the license be issued. And Bridge and Mobility Project led by the St. Clair County Community College. Resolution number 11, vacating reserve utility easement over previously vacated portions of 30th Street. Now we will go back to where I fumbled here, catching the ball, from the city manager, number 1.
Accepting the proposal from Snyder Recreation Incorporated in the amount of $50,000 for the purchase of outdoor fitness equipment to be installed at Knoxfield.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Mosrak. Support. Second by support. Councilmember Lamb. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would just like to thank former council member and current county commissioner Lisa Beeden. This was with her allotment of ARPA money to help make this happen in South Park. So this is not our money. This is County Commissioner Lisa Beeden's money that she's directing towards our community. So be sure to thank her next time you see her.
Oh, okay, sure will. That's what you call partnership.
Yes.
And I would also like to say we had the draft of what that's going to look like, the exercise equipment out there on that park. There's one thing that we should be really just happy about all our parks. We talk about diversity, whether it's black and white or whatever. We all get stuck on certain things, but the diversity of your parks throughout the city of Port Huron is awesome. You have the top park, and here at Knoxville, it almost goes with it. It's like exercising. It's a different kind of a concept that you have out there, and I think it's really powerful, along with the other playground equipment to help complement that. So you got to look at what you're getting, what you're paying for, so, in order to appreciate it. So we have something for everybody, from 8 to 80, whatever nationality, whatever you want to be pushing up on, or just seeing, just making a difference. So this is a win-win here in this case for Knoxville. Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 1.
Approving the agreement with Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting Incorporated for professional engineering services for pipe painting at the water filtration plant.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
It's been moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Mosrak. Is there any discussion? Do you have anything to say?
No, budget item, standard maintenance.
Okay, and that's a key thing, whether or not it's a budgeted item, that we're just not adding stuff to pay for or put down here just to have it. So that makes a difference. So money was already spent before we were saying it. So we just sealed the deal. Roll call.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 2.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application under the fiscal year 2027 appropriation program in the amount of $6,500,000 with a local match of $545,140 for a total project cost of $7,045,140 regarding the necessary renovations and stabilization of the Black River Canal to reduce or mitigate risk from natural hazards, disasters, flooding, erosion, and watershed protection.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I haven't shared with Congressman Lisa McLean, who's spearheading this effort, that we would be able to partner up to get to a 25% match, which is about 1.7 million, should the Congress require that, which oftentimes they do through state agency-led programs like the Michigan State Police Emergency Management Pre-Disaster Mitigation Fund. So I did have numerous conversations with Congresswoman McLean directly last week. I think we spoke probably, honestly, 6 or 7 different times directly with her staff as well, to all hours of the night, to get this in for the funding request for this budget year. We should hear back hopefully sometime before May.
Okay, and it mentioned local match. Where is that? That's to be determined?
That would be a 1.7 million local match, which we would come up with.
For us, okay.
Yep, but we would share that with our partners as well.
Okay, and so where is that coming from? I mean, us. Who's
So we would
us?
issue a smaller bond note for that.
Smaller bonds.
So depending on what the match is, what we get other people to partner. I met with the township supervisors last week, had a very good meeting with them as well. So 1.7 million is much smaller nut than 5.6 million, and something we can tackle locally. But it will take some financing and just some other creative ways to do it, but it's very doable if we were to get this funding. Very doable, and we have the cash on hand to make it happen.
Okay. All right, roll call.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 3.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application under the fiscal year 2027 appropriations program in the amount of $2,250,000 with a local match of $250,000 for a total project cost of $2,500,000 regarding the purchase of an aerial tower fire apparatus to provide life-saving response and disaster mitigation measures to the city of Port Huron and surrounding communities.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Mosrak
Support.
and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Roll call.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 12.
Approving the agreement with EnviroTrack LLC for professional services to inventory the current tree canopy and condition and to develop the 2026 Forestry Management Plan.
Is there a motion? So moved. It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald and supported by Councilmember Pemberton.
Madam Mayor, I would like to bring up Professor Soto to come up here. He was the head of the work group. I must say, Jim, I have fancied the idea of farming out all of my work to committees. This worked out very well for me. I didn't have to attend your meetings. I didn't have to do any of this. Worked out very well for me. But Jim and his team truly did an excellent job. It was a significant lift. I think Councilmember Payton as well for sitting on that work group. And I think it's all fitting if they present their findings and their recommendations to the council as, again, I had no part in it, which was very lovely.
That was good,
Very lovely.
absolutely.
Thank you for the warm introduction, City Manager Freed, Council and Mayor Ashford. Thank you for having me, and thank you for forming this work group. We're here to give you our recommendation on the Forestry Management Work Group. And if I may, before I begin, I want to add the classic adage. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. We need to get those trees in the ground. And speaking of getting trees in the ground, there are still 54 trees left from our original purchase of 200. And so if you are sitting in the audience or watching at home, please Google Port Huron Tree Program and submit an application. We have 54 to go. Once you put it in, you'll get a phone call and you'll get to meet Jason from the Forestry Department. He's wonderful. He works too hard. He needs a raise. And he's been great and instrumental to all of this. So we're hoping we can get these 54 accounted for, hopefully, by the end of, I don't know, March. It would be great if people could sign up for it. So, why the work group was formed? The work group was formed because, according to SEMCOG, our current tree canopy coverage is at 24.9%, and the target, the goal, is about 40%. We might not meet 40%, we might not ever hit it, but the goal is to have that as a target to attain it. According to SEMCOG's data, none of our census tracts are above 40%. We have the one a little bit farther north at 38.5%, and that is primarily along Riverview in the north end of the city. Whereas, sadly, there are two downtown tracts. If you sort of put it together, our average is about 12%, and in the south end, it is 19.1%, and sort of our tree canopy coverage has been slowly declining over the years. City Manager Freed went through some of the historical reasons, the emerald ash borer, and so on in the past, but we've been just sort of slowly declining. And what does that decline look like? This is Kearney Street. If you look at it, if you'll notice here that from 2013 to 2024, this was largely driven by no offense to DTE, but a little bit of offense to DTE, them redoing the work, and we were never replanted. And there it is. And then on Division, here's just one example. We just sort of never got some into the ground. But this challenge, these are contemporary examples, but this challenge is even bigger and longer. And I would like to point you to this. This is Erie Street. When Erie Street was expanded in 1975, 83 trees were removed in between there. And so I'll give you some ideas down the road for what we can do to try and have places to plant trees. So the Forestry Management Work Group, we had a diverse group, Councilmember Payton, Jason Coleman, Supervisor of Forestry, Brent Moore helped us out, Eric Whittier showed up and helped us. They were wonderful support. Sherry Faust, Jeff Gushman, who you heard from earlier, Tyler Moldovan, Aaron Kreiner, and myself. And our task was to develop a request for a proposal to put out there on BidNet and get bids in, evaluate those proposals, and make a recommendation to council. And we were in the unenvious position of having 4 very strong proposals. All of them, we were comparing strengths with strengths. They were all quite good. All of the bids had their strengths, and then we had to evaluate which one was stronger than the other, because they were just all good. And so we're recommending to you Biotech Consulting. They're a subsidiary of EnviroTrack. I don't know how all of these LLC words, alphabet soup, works. Now, the largest driver of the cost of this was the tree survey. And we quickly learned that in order to have a forestry management plan, you can't have an effective one or a correct one without knowing where you're at right now. And so all of the groups would conduct, and EnviroTrack will, conduct a complete field inventory of all trees on city-owned property. They will give us the GPS location, the species, the size, the health assessment, the structural integrity. And the way I like to think about it, you guys are familiar with this, is we use that PACER program for our roads so that we have a sense and we know what's coming and we know what to spend. And it's kind of like applying that sort of asset management model or the PACER model to our trees. Same sort of thing, but we have to do this initial sort of startup to where we are. Sadly, we anticipate some unpleasant results. We have a lot of very old trees, and especially we have a lot of silver maples that are nearing the end of their lifespan. And so whatever our number is right now that we need to plant, think bigger. But we'll know the results once we get the results, right? But our planting program, while we've been doing that, we've been planting as we go and so on and so forth, our need is probably going to be higher than we even expect. And this is going to lead to some tree losses in the next decade, and we should all be prepared for it. We might see a dip in our tree canopy before we can get enough trees in the ground to start getting back. So we might actually have some losses in the next decade before we get on the better trajectory. And all of this, and Jason works so hard, but this is still going to be very stressful for forestry department. And they're likely going to need more workers and more funding going forward. And as I said before, Jason needs a raise, and so on. And so, how do we reach 40%? Well, the first thing is to conserve what we have, is to conserve and protect. If you have a tree, please don't cut it down. Now, we understand sometimes trees get to the end of their life cycle. We understand sometimes trees have to remove, but hey, all of us, maybe we can hold off. Let's conserve and protect what we have. And we have to replant. And this is a monumental thing that we're about to embark on that's going to take decades. And in particular, we're going to need a lot of community outreach. And so we're going to have to work with people and convince people to plant a tree, even if we offer them, because as I pointed out, we still have 54 trees left. And so it's going to take social media outreach, mentions from the dais, maybe in the fall and spring planting season. Hey folks, please, go to Home Depot, get a tree, please plant one, right? And then we really recommend some sort of forestry outreach volunteer group or something. All of us are willing to do. And literally wear some green smocks, go around, knock doors, and ask people, would you like a tree? Because that sort of face-to-face engagement with people sometimes helps get over the tree planting hesitancy. Not guaranteed, but it's going to take some work. Another option is we're going to have to find places for trees. And here's an example of swapping out a parking spot for a tree planting pit. And this doubles also as a traffic calming measure. And as Vivian mentioned earlier, it also helps with stormwater and rainwater runoff. And so these are some sort of options, again, where we can work them in, depending on the underground pipes and sewage and everything like that. but a tree planting bump out that doubles as a traffic calming measure is one way to go. And then I will once again end with the benefits of urban trees, right? It improves heat health. Believe it or not, it slows cars down, decreases energy costs. As Vivian mentioned earlier, it helps with stormwater runoff. And a couple of other things that I want to highlight. Even planting a new tree signals stability and permanence, which then attracts investment in residents. And this is a sort of thing that is not really spoken about enough, that the biggest bang for your buck to attract people to live in the city, to keep people here, and to attract investment in your neighborhoods is tree planting. It really is. And then last, it just looks good. You can't have quiet tree-lined streets without trees. I just think that trees look good. And so thank you for your time. I blasted through it. I'm happy to take questions if you have any.
I just had one question.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Oh,
I didn't recognize you.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, may I ask a question?
Chair recognizes council member
Thank you.
Huron.
Quick question, we have 50 more to go. How many?
200. There was 200 original purchase. And so 146 accounted for, 54. And I really invite everyone on the dais to please get one. Or two. I really do. I understand maybe you want to hold out for other people, and I think that is noble. I still want you to have a tree. I live near Councilmember Pemberton. You got room.
Fair enough.
Just saying, man.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, council member. Huron. Any more questions from the?
Thank you for your time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Soto, I was kind of struck that you didn't mention the very health of a human being depends on trees also. Did you know that?
Well, yes, of course, Mayor Ashford, right. And in particular, it helps with lowering asthma rates as we can clean the air, and we're looking at long-term as climate change impacts. We're likely to see increased asthma rates, in a sense, if we don't. And so here's a way to stave off and lower public health costs by us planting trees.
Yeah, we just went to a little seminar on that, and we were talking about trees and the significance. We talk about everything else, the canopy and how the photosynthesis and all that, but we always negate the main thing is how it's the health of a human being that makes a real big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
and they help our mental well-being and our mental health. Just the regular and consistent access to nature, even if the nature is right next to you on the sidewalk, or in a sense especially, because you're likely to have it, is good for our physical and mental health and well-being.
Oh, okay. Well, I would just like to thank you and your team there, your group, a fantastic job. It needed to be done, and the data shows us that you're never too late, but the thing is, when you're late, you just got that much more you have to deal with, and that's what you told us tonight.
It's a big lift.
Yeah, it's a huge lift.
But I think that the sewer separation project that we engaged on for years, the city managed to do that. This is nothing compared to that.
Right.
It will be a long, decades-long commitment, but as far as a big lift, that was a bigger lift, and I think the city can do it. And my interactions with staff from the engineering and forestry department, they're excited about it. They're going to make it happen.
Well, I think we're all excited about it and really appreciate all that you've done and continue to do. Thank you very much.
It was a group.
Yep, okay, thank you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion here on the table, and ready for the roll call?
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, just real quick, I would note, this is a $113,000 cost. We'll fund it out of this year's budget. We'll probably split it over 2 years. I do see this as an investment. I think having this document and the inventory will make us much more likely to get significant grant funding in the future. There are significant pools of grant funding available that require such a inventory and plan. And so I don't see this, I see this as an initial cost, but I think this is going to pay for itself in the long run significantly.
Yeah, and we're still gonna have to get more of where that came from. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Now we're at item K, our public comment portion for our non-residents.
We have one speaker, Curtis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Curtis Carl, Porter Township. I'd have to agree with Brian. I'd say we should just bring this comment back together. Seems kind of crazy that if we want to work with our townships and, you know, fix some of the problems that we have, we should be able to have our comments together as one. So I have to agree with Brian on that. Spoke to Carrie from MDOT last week about the end of the connector when you turn on Pine Grove. I don't know if you guys have taken that, when it's dark out, when it's rainy, it's difficult. There's no lighting there. It's coming. She said the lighting's already ordered up, that's gonna go up, and then the stripes or whatever's on the road is just like temporary. There's gonna be better markings on the road, so you'll be able to maneuver that corner a lot better in the dark and the rain, because it's hard. It is. And then as for the canal, I think out of the whole sewer social media, the best comment I seen was probably from Mr. Clark. It was about turning it into like a toll road. Probably not feasible. I know what you're saying about having a pass or whatever to use it, but to actually put up a gate and have like a QR thing, it'd be kind of probably dangerous or maybe not even feasible at all on the waterway. I know it works at the quarter car wash or the, you know, the automatics or whatever, but no, it's just food for thought. But I'm sure the people that are using the canal would be very willing to kick in money like we do when we use the boat ramp. So, those are my thoughts for tonight.
Well, thank you, sir. Okay. That completes our agenda for this evening. We do have a few announcements. The winter decorations in Lakeside Cemetery must be removed. Can you hear me out there? Okay. The winter decorations in Lakeside Cemetery must be removed from the cemetery plots by March 31st. Removal of remaining items by the removal of remaining items by cemetery personnel will begin April the 1st. So they've given you plenty of opportunities to move your items away from your grave markers there. And if you don't do it, they will take the liberty, you know, to remove them for you. And also, I'd like to thank thank you all for being here in person tonight, and for everybody that has spoken, and even those that are left, thank you for coming before the Port Huron City Council, letting them know what's on your minds and what we can do about it to give us the opportunity to work to make things happen for you, to make our city a better place to live here in the city of Port Huron. And I also like to recognize our hard-working people, and I should have did this a long time ago, but we always listen to one voices or just our voice and my voice. It's not just about who's sitting up here, you know, me, the mayor, or the city manager, or council members, but we have some fine people that really work for us. And if you don't mind, Eric Stan, let him see who you are. This is Eric Witter. Now, give him a round of applause, because he does a lot of work. Beat him up. When you having, they must have cut me off. When you having issues about your streets and anything, I mean, that's Eric. I hear a lot of people really giving him, you know, such great compliments, because he's out there, they're doing the best that they can, him and his team. And then we have Cynthia Bromfield. She's the assistant city manager. Cynthia, why don't you stand too? I know you've been sitting a long time. That's Cynthia. See, and you know, and these are hidden gems, unsung heroes. They don't say much, but they do a lot. This is who really does the work. And also our fire chief over there, Court. And you know what, you don't have to stand, Corey, go ahead, stand up, take your feet down off it, give him a round of applause. One of our first responders, okay, he's always got to be ready, so he doesn't get an invitation to say, come over, he just has to be ready, and him and his crews are always ready to come out and do what they need to do. And then we have Renee there. Renee is our HR person, and Renee, stand, get your little hand clapping. And from our city manager's report, Renee having some issues with recruiting. So if you're looking for a job, or your nephew or your children or whatever, she's having a hard time finding people to work. So you need to know that. So we have a website that you can go in, and or either if you're having problems with that, just they can give you a call, right, Renee? Yeah. Give her a call, because she's doing a lot to try to get people to do some work. And if you don't talk about it, everybody don't read, everybody don't have a computer. So we need to seize every moment we can, live moment, to interface to get that, to make that happen for all of us. So with that, any round?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'd just like to recognize Chief Kerrigan also in the picture.
Oh, I
He's in the
forgot
corner, him and his
Chief, okay.
team, dude.
Oh, yeah, Chief,
Also.
yeah, come on out here so we
He's
can
already
see a little bit more. Yeah, thank you.
Well, he was already
I
standing to
see
be
he
clapped
was
for.
standing here. So he's protecting us, that's why he was at the door. Okay, see, now that's why you got a team. What you don't see, they're doing it. You're on it.
Mayor Ashford, we have one more.
Oh, I did say we had a couple announcements, but that's the star of the show right here. All right, so I'll read off of yours since you said that. Weekly curbside yard waste pickup in containers and also compost bags resume the week of April the 6th. So you can start putting that, your compost bags out. I put mine out 2 weeks ago. And I thought, and I'm the mayor, and I didn't know, I had to sneak back out there and get it, put it back in the garage. And I had the nerve, we're gonna have to do something with our website, because it says bags on there, so check the website. I did check the website before I put them out there, but I had to go back out there and get them. So anyway, so that's it. So is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved. Thank you. God bless you, and have a nice evening.